Thanks a lot, Charlie. Well, Nashville has reached the brutal final 13-game schedule to end the regular season, and with a big home weekend and Pekka Rinne's statue being unveiled ahead, the Seattle Kraken have come to town for a 2-game series. Now, before the game, I wrote in my preview that I wasn't sure which Predators team would show up. Would it be the lifeless, exhausted-looking team that got blown out by the New York Rangers? Or would it be the replacements and young players that had an offensive explosion in a 7-3 victory over the Buffalo Sabres? After the game, I'd say it was a little bit of each plus a sprinkle of UC Saros magic, but you knew that. The Predators looked lifeless against the Kraken for a period, but staunch defense and low-event hockey was good enough to take the Kraken all the way to the shootout after a Kiefer Sherwood goal that tied the game at 1 apiece. Did the defenses look exhausted? Absolutely. But the Predators didn't give up as many prime chances as they did against New York, and of course, UC Saros continued to do what he does best, keep the Predators in the game. After Matt Duchene scored first in the shootout, the young rookie Phil Tomasino slammed the door shut with a goal of his own past Joey Daccord to give Nashville 2 out of the 4 points that Seattle is bringing to town. But between Duchene and Tomasino's successful shootout attempts, there was another player who did not score. He also didn't pick up a point in the victory today, but what one rookie did throughout the game had him as one of the best players on the ice for either team. Luke Evangelista's spectacular two-way dominance of the Kraken is the topic of tonight's One Big Stat. So just how good was Luke tonight? While he didn't add to his 5 goals and 9 points in 12 games total, his impact on Nashville, both on offense and defense, was just incredible. Evangelista was on the ice for over 20 minutes at even strength tonight, and the difference was absolutely night and day when he was there. Playing alongside Tommy Novak and Kiefer Sherwood for much of the evening, Nashville had 32 shot attempts, while Seattle had a staggeringly low total of 5 with Luke Evangelista on the ice. Not 5 shots on goal, but 5 attempts overall in over 20 minutes, including much of the 4-on-4 overtime. And while Nashville only turned 32 of those attempts into just 12 shots on goal, they still outdid Seattle with Evangelista on the ice 12-3. And both of those percentages were above 80%, leading the team by just a bit over his line mates Novak and Sherwood. But not so with expected goals and shot quality. Luke Evangelista helped to generate almost one expected goal at .96 and allowing just 0.08 expected goals, just incredibly low quality shots. And that's just on 5 shot attempts and 3 shots on goal that they were able to create very, very low percentage shots. So he was playing extremely well, both on offense. He was creating a ton of shot volume, even if they weren't all finding the net. And he was keeping Seattle from doing almost anything on offense. He led all the Kraken in expected goals as well, although Daniel Sprong and Tanev were also above 80% in shot quality. But the Predators still had 4 high-quality chances to Seattle's 0, and nowhere was his impact seen more than in overtime. Evangelista, Sherwood, and Novak dominated no matter who they played against, and they were the only line for Nashville that showed any signs of life. Now, Evangelista has been turning heads since his arrival, much like Novak, Sherwood, Parson, and before him, and he's more than answered the call in his 12 games so far. Ironically, there's only 12 more games in the race of the season, and he's playing against the best of the best in the NHL. If he can keep it up and have more performances like this, Luke Evangelista is going to make Nashville his permanent home by force. And before I go, I want to say a couple things. First of all, thank you so much for all the wonderful response to my video and piece on Kiefer Sherwood earlier this week, as we saw around the league again tonight. Sometimes it's nice to just have a reminder of a positive thing that happened. But second, and much more importantly, none of this matters because when you see this video, that means you have obviously decided that your Friday night plans include hanging out with us and the rest of the Preds fans and Renegades of Puck at the home base freakout at Tailgate Brewery tonight at 7 p.m. No cover, all ages, all are welcome and celebrated. There will be giveaways, special guests, and a ton of fun. Hang out with us tonight and then join me at Bridgestone Arena for Saturday's afternoon rematch with the Kraken after we get to see the king himself, Pekka Rinne's new statue. And as I'm recording this, at just past midnight, the captain is still out there not half-stepping. He's delivering beer to hockey rinks, handing out flyers on Broadway, and honestly, I don't know what else he could be getting into, and I'm almost afraid to ask. But he is a one-man street team, and don't you dare make my captain's efforts in vain. So show up to us, hang out with us tomorrow. It's going to be an absolute blast. And let's celebrate hockey with hockey fans, Preds fans, everybody, after what has been, frankly, one goddamn roller coaster of a hockey season. So come out to the Home Base Freakout tonight. I'll see you there, Renegades. And that is tonight's One Big Stat. Charlie?